Hiya, and welcome back to Dawn Chorus, the game that teaches us that Rune, baby, can you please slow down? That'd be appreciated. Also, and let's just hop right in, also while we get started, we are doing a Wayfinder playthrough tonight. I remember this place. I've been here before. This is my childhood friend's room. I haven't thought about him in ages. I forgot he even existed. But this was just a moment ago. I sat on the sofa and he sat at the desk playing a game. The song is playing Weather by Rose Floyd. He quite liked them, I remember. Building blocks are scattered all across the floor. This is a space of comfort. This is a retreat. The warm flame inside me. What a joy to be here again. His mother will bring us food in a moment. Maybe something Italian. Spaghetti with rocket and sun-dried tomatoes that I liked so much. Eons have passed since the last time I ate something. I forgot food exists, even. I don't feel any hunger. The then I and now I join. The time is flat. Everything happens at once. Everything is as things should be. I'm in my friend's room. I'm 10 years old and carefree. I forgot how it felt. This warmth, this comfort, this feeling of safety, of the endlessness of days, the infinity stretching out in front of me. This is important. This is something to remember. The taste of tomato soup. The feel of the wooden panels under my paws. Dust in the air, glimmering. Sunlight filtering through the leaves of a philodendron. Shimmering patterns appearing across the floor. Devouring new books, finding new music, exploring, learning, the comfort of a friend's companionship. Life has gotten bigger. Everything else became so much smaller. But now, everything vibrates with significance. I finally feel that again. And I lament, too. I lament our loss. How we shut ourselves from the world we live in. How we separate ourselves. How we stop paying attention. How we grow comfortable into this life and the wonders stop being wonders, and the clouds stop taking shapes of vast battles and animals. The seas are no longer brimming with pirate ships and undiscovered islands, and the garden is just the garden and nothing else. This is important. This is something to remember. The taste of tomato soup. The feel of wooden panels under my paws. Dust in the air, glimmering. Sunlight filtering through the leaves of a philodendron. Shimmering patterns appearing on the floor. Devouring new books, finding new music, exploring, learning. The comfort of a friend's companionship. It all never goes away. It's still here for us. It's us who shut ourselves from it. This is Epiphany. A fully formed revelation that hits me all at once. Like a sunlight flooding through the room through a sudden gap in the clouds. As if someone else's voice was speaking through me, I open my mouth and start reciting. There's a place you can visit, where your dreams are colors. When it's all too much, and you're drowned in noise. My eyes are glowing. They're blue, bright, and I can feel the glow. There are glowing points all over my body. I don't want to ever stop glowing. The days are slow. The days are finite. The days are many. I have many days. There is time for everything. I don't have to hurry. There is only calm here. Calm beyond description. Beyond words, beyond understanding. It permeates everything. I bathe in it and thrive. Am I dying? What is happening to me? Where was I lifetimes ago? In a forest where I left myself behind. I am an animal. My voice is that of an animal. I look for myself, but I can't remember how I look. I am symbols and I am strands of loose endings, neurons firing a blinding light. I am neurons firing a blinding light. I am a blinding light. My life is a nightmare of my own choice. The realization comes in an instant. It's a flash, overwhelming, the blocks connect, the shapes bend and everything is light. Blinding light. I don't have to be anything. I was empty and devoid of meaning. I thought I had to be someone, achieve something. Then the meaning would surely come and I wouldn't feel empty. I thought I had to work to justify my existence. Ahead, work myself to the bone to be someone, to mean anything. But I don't need a meaning. This existence is bliss. The trees are bliss. The sun is bliss. The moon is bliss. The world is not against me. The world is indifferent. This life isn't a competition. I don't have to fight with anyone and there is nothing I have to do. I was asking myself, what is my purpose? What is the meaning of life? But it's not the right question. The right question is why we are here. And the answer is to experience this world, yet I shut myself behind closed doors and away from others. Why should I seek anyone's validation? What do I get from working so hard I have no time to take care of myself? Why am I doing this at the cost of spending time with others? This is not what life is about. Life is about kindness. But for kindness' sake, life is about community and not hierarchy. The meaning comes from living a good life, a life of wholesomeness and unity. I don't have to be anything other than me. I exist, and this is enough. This is lightness. This is light. This is weightlessness. I am free. In this vastness, the ocean of life, I am free. Everything is eternal, and I exist here. What more could I ever need? I want to scream across time, across all planes. I want to scream to myself. I need to scream the words of happiness. I need to tell myself what I know now. I don't have to be anything. If I can show this to myself, then I am saved. I need to remember. I need to remember this. I need to remember. I exist forever suspended here between the morphing shapes, bathed in the light that isn't from this world. I am somewhere, but this world doesn't have 3 dimensions. I am somewhere, but this world isn't mine. Everything is alien, or maybe I am alien here. This world isn't mine, but it's pulling me in. It wants to show me more. The I speaking is me. The I observing is distinct. It is not me because I can feel it. I can grasp its shape because it sees me. We untangle and now we're separate. Interlocking parts. Something unfolds further. Echoes of echoes of echoes of echoes across all the dimensions. I'm closer to the core. And then it opens before me. A glow, a mirror, an observer, an ember disappearing. What is that which touches me? What is it? It speaks, the light spilling out, and then there is no more me. Is it good? Did I fuck up somewhere? Oh, we just wait? Okay, let me pull out my phone. I don't mind waiting. Billie Jean's not my lover, she's just a girl that I ever won. The child is not my son. Oh, fuck. Don't do drugs. I long for days long and simple. For long summer nights spent sitting before a record player, laughing. I long for campfires and cuddles. I long for rest and I long for having no worries. I long for you next to me, without expectations or shame. I want to know that we have all the time we want and that we are safe in this world. I have all of that here with me. Everything I needed, I had with me all along. There comes no answer. I'm blank, a wiped board. I'm a spark swimming in darkness. I feel the edges of my body, but I don't recognize it. Everything feels strange and unfamiliar. This life, this body I'm about to inhabit, feels unfamiliar. This was the peak. I lied down and a vertical beam of light hit me with all the might of the heavens. I was touched and I ascended, but now I'm washed back on the shore, and it's a starry night above, cold wind blowing on my face. Decades have passed since I last opened my eyes. The ground is hard and stable. This is my world. Rune? Are you waking up? I think so. Rune props himself up on his arms, sitting on the hard wooden panels. He looks confused, but mostly very tired. What happened? What do you remember? I'm not sure. Well, you took mushrooms. We stayed in the room for a while until you decided you wanted to go out. You put on the jacket and we walked out into the forest for a while, but it was super cold, so I brought you back shivering. You took off your jacket and laid down on the floor and dozed off. And now you're back. I hope for the light of recognition to flicker in his eyes, but there's nothing. His eyes are bleak and foggy, as if he barely understood my words. Do you need help getting up? No, I'm fine. Rune gets up from the floor, wiping paws on his trousers, a deep ridge between his furrowed brows. He looks around the room, looking completely lost. I think I need to sit down again. And so he does, this time on the edge of the bed. I sit down next to him, concerned. Is he fully back? I remember reading that coming down from psychedelics takes a while. Putting upon his shoulder, I look into his eyes. Hey. Everything okay? Are you still tripping? I just need a minute. I'm sorry. It's fine. I'm here if you need to talk. He stays silent for a moment, hooves rubbing against the flooring. Then he leans on me, almost knocking me over, and with his head on my shoulder, antlers alarmingly close to my face, he starts crying. It's not violent sobbing nor quiet weeping, no. Forehead rested on my shoulder, his tears flow as if all the emotions were spent already and now only water was left, floodgates open. I pet his tired head, fingers brushing into his soft hair. I hold him close and let him cry for as long as he needs, saying nothing. The tears stop quickly and then he just leans on me with his eyes closed, breathing deeply. Minutes pass slowly. I cling to them like the deer clings to me. Arvo, I thought psychedelics were supposed to be like recreational drugs, fun and all. They weren't. What do you think? Fair point. Are you okay? Yes, I think so. He inhales deeply, again before composing himself, wiping tears away from his cheeks. I'm sorry, I know it was a lot. It was definitely unexpected. How are you feeling now? Tired, like I've just taken 10 exams in a row. I have a lot to think about. I don't think I've ever been this overwhelmed before in my life. Thank you for taking care of me. I don't even know how it would have gone if you weren't there. I feel a terrible headache coming on. Do you need some painkillers? No, I hope it passes by itself. How are you feeling, Arvo? I have to make it up to you somehow. You were here with me for... What time is it, actually? Almost 2100, so about 3 hours. I don't know, to be honest. Time still seems to be a bit of a foreign concept, not really applicable to this whole thing. I'd say I understand, but I don't think I do. And you don't need to make up for anything. I didn't have any plans. I was just scared something could happen to you. You seemed to be having a good time for most of it, but there were scary moments when you were falling silent and staring at a wall, unresponsive. And I didn't know what could even happen. I started reading about
time to
shrooms
drink
while
water.
you were out, but at the beginning I didn't know what to
It's
expect.
time to drink water. It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
I hope you had a good trip, though.
Well, it was very much not what I had imagined. To be honest, I don't really know what happened or what I saw, and I certainly couldn't put it into words. I mostly have a lot to think about, but I feel too tired to think. I hope you didn't die of boredom in the meantime.
Nah, not at all. We listened to music. You enjoyed that a lot. You laughed out loud a few times, even. You said that the music was tickling you, or that the shapes were funny, or just laughed at random things. It was kind of fun staying with him here, at least in the moments when I wasn't scared for him. So, what now? Want to rest some more?
I think I'd like to go for a walk, see the sky.
I have my jacket here. We can go right away.
You'd like to go too?
Leaving you alone right now doesn't seem like a good idea, to be honest, and I'd like to go, yeah.
Fair.
Rune, you silly asshole. The wind blows between the trees, hostile and harsh. Still, Rune walks forward with slow and heavy steps, snout up, gazing at the tree crowns. Wonder shines in his eyes and hasn't ceased even for a moment since we left the guest house.
Arvo, it's so good to be alive.
He seems somehow smaller than usual against the backdrop of tall trees towering above him. Eyes opened wide as if to soak in their essence. His voice is quieter too, as if disappearing in the darkness of the forest.
Like, I could never explain with words just how good. Everything feels so fresh. I wish I could feel the same feeling.
He smiles. Finally, a warm, timid smile that reaches his eyes. Looking at the joy plain to see on his face, I quite wish I could feel it indeed. It's incredible the difference between him now and just a few hours ago. I didn't think I'd see him happy for the rest of the camp, but here he is, smiling at the nature around him, as if it was all he needed to be happy. And there's a certain warmth in his smile that wasn't there before. Something honest and almost childlike with his transparency.
Something's wrong?
No, I don't think so.
Are you sure? You seem distant, and I don't mean silent, but rather like there's something eating you.
I sigh. Is there something indeed? Maybe. I wasn't thinking of it actively, but there's a thought sleeping dormant at the back of my mind. Nothing big, but perhaps I should tell him if it's eating me. I step towards Rune. He steps towards me. And there's the dark doubt again. The silence hangs between us, thick like tar, blue like the shadows in the snow cast by the trees. The blue is the color of my guilt. It's the color of tears spilled and the wrongs that bite with the maw of frost feeding on me. I don't yield to it, though. I hold it at bay. I need to understand it, but I have to control it or it would swallow me alive. It's a feeling. It's a pointer, not the objective truth. I see now what I didn't see before. If I accept it, if I let it take over me, it will be who I am. No, I need to change. He steps towards me. Are the mushrooms still working? I feel heavy. The exhaustion catching up with me once again. Arvo. I feel like I used him. Did I really care about him, or only wanted a mirror to see myself in, someone to give me comfort? A transgression against decency. Was I always acting like this? Was I ever a real friend to anyone? Can't do it again. I have to change. He steps towards me. The pureness in his eyes is what drew me to him first. He's not fixated on himself. He doesn't want anything other than my company. He is what I am not. He has what I lack. I'm happy that I'm sharing this moment with him, truly as equal partners, as two friends. I'm here with him, not in my world. We're in this forest, fresh and so full of life that I want to laugh from the happiness spreading to my very fingertips. He steps towards me. I'm glad to see you're happy, and you have no idea how much of a relief it is to see that you're okay after everything that happened today. But even if I sat next to you, it was something you went on alone. Kind of wish you didn't throw me out and told me what you were planning on. I didn't know if I'd like to take anything too, probably not, but I just felt kind of not included even as I sat there with you.
I should have. I didn't think about anyone by himself in that moment. I didn't want anyone to see me angry or vulnerable. I didn't think I should talk with anyone at all. Now I see how stupid it was. I'm sorry, Arvo. I'll be a better friend, I promise.
I step towards Rune and rest my forehead on his chest with a sigh. I'm just glad you're okay. Want to go back slowly? It's really cold. His arms wrap around me and pull me into a tight embrace, the stag almost lifting me off the ground.
I'm really happy that you're here with me. Putting myself a lot today, but thank you again. I have a lot to learn, only now I see it. And now, let's go back.
We turn around, retracing our steps, but it looks like we've strayed far from the guest house. I can't see its light through the dense branches. I walk close to Rune, bumping against him softly every few steps. He doesn't seem to mind, though, his head's still lifted up. So, how was it? What did you see? I'm curious about all of this, of course. I thought he wouldn't stop talking about what he saw, but instead, he's much quieter than usual. Maybe he's just tired, or maybe he doesn't want to talk about it? I don't know. I won't press it if he doesn't want to talk. But maybe he only needs a little nudge.
Well, I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't translate very well to language. I wasn't even thinking in language during parts of the trip. Rather, the language was turning into sounds, shapes, and colors. What I saw was tunnels filled with patterns that pulled me in. They were getting more and more intense until they morphed into these multi-dimensional worlds of metallic panels all in constant flux. But a description like that doesn't do it any justice. I could try, but I still wouldn't be able to even approach how it felt. It was just too different from everything I knew. At the same time, some parts were very familiar, like I was getting ultra-realistic flashbacks from my childhood. It wasn't like remembering some scenes, it was like being there and being 12 again. And I don't feel like I'm fully back yet, and I feel younger by like 5 years at least. And well, it's a nice feeling, obviously, though I feel a bit lost in all this. Like I've seen things, stuff that I don't understand and that shouldn't exist. I hope it's not freaking you out, but well, it is freaking me out just a bit. I think this is the most intense thing that has ever happened to me in my life.
I think it does freak me out a tad. What memories did you see?
Nice ones. I remember playing with my childhood friend, and I remember chopping wood with my father.
Sounds nice. Do you still have a good connection?
With my friend? No. With my father? I don't think we've ever had. Some of my parents have a bit too authoritarian ideas for what a parent-child relationship should look like. I'm glad to have them at a safe distance still. Not in a conflict or anything, and I could count on their help if I needed it. We just don't get along very well. But the memory was positive, overwhelmingly even. I looked around when we were in the forest, and it was a forest at the outskirts of Anslow that my father used to take me for walks. It wasn't just a recollection, I was there with him again. Well, it's weird stuff.
Sounds intense, but it doesn't sound unpleasant.
Most of it wasn't. I think I was a bit too out of it to really enjoy it, though. Hard to enjoy even nice scenes when you have no idea what's going on.
We both fall silent. Rune looks up at the sky, away from me, as if afraid he said too much. Silly dear, I'm just glad he's okay. Stuffing my cold paws into my pockets, I bump into his side once again, this time on purpose. I'm glad you're back. Ah, Bjorn! Ah! The guest house is brightly lit, glowing in this dark night with the promise of warmth. We make our way back to the terrace quickly, both already shivering.
Thanks for the walk. It was nice to have company. Huh. Is that Devin in the cafeteria? What is he doing?
Glance at the cafeteria windows, and indeed the panther is standing in the back with his laptop in paw. We could go back to the cafeteria and say hello. He was worried about you. Maybe it'd be good to show yourself before the end of the day.
Worried? Why would he be? Oh, but let's go then. At least to say goodnight.
Rune! Devin turns to us as soon as we open the door, putting the laptop back on the table. There you are, starting to get worried.
Why worried?
You weren't replying to any messages, and I couldn't find you in your room. I didn't know how you'd react to the news.
What news?
About the student exchange.
Ah! The exchange program!
The deer slumps. Did he forget about it? Without out of it he was, it's possible, but I think he would have remembered about it. How big of a deal it was for him.
Right, well, it did hurt. But I can't let it bring me down. It already happened. I need to slow down and take a rest first. Things just weren't going right for me lately, and I'm starting to think that maybe it's a burnout.
Good thing you noticed it yourself now. That's the first step to dealing with it. Devin looks at me and our eyes meet for a moment, looking over at the computer. He furrows his brow ever so slightly. Hey, Rune, you weren't at the film, right? I was about to dismantle the projector, but it's still a reasonable hour. Maybe you want to watch something? I have a few films from your list downloaded. I could choose something short that you haven't seen yet. Huh. What is Devin doing? That was pretty out of nowhere. I have no idea what could be his reasoning behind it? Rune glances at me, asking me silently for my opinion. I definitely don't mind another hour spent together, though, so I nod enthusiastically. Well, something short and undemanding, maybe? I'd like some rest, but I don't feel sleepy at all. To be honest, I don't know how I'll be able to fall asleep today. Have you seen The Deer Who Ran? This one is just an hour long. Should be fine. I've heard very good things about the director. Hong Sang-moo, right? Precisely. Good memory. Arvo? Oh, I'm fine with whatever. I haven't heard of them, but I don't watch films often, but I'm not too picky. Great, I was curious about this one. By the way, what film did you watch? Whiplash. I regret showing it, though. Heard it was a good university film, but I felt that the ultimate message was very wrong. I won't spoil it for you if you haven't seen it, but the thesis was basically that working yourself to the bone and sacrificing your mental health is the path to achieving greatness. It also indirectly advocated for professors emotionally abusing students. I think that's even worse. I think I'll need to have a talk with the person who recommended it to me, especially considering that he was also a professor. Devon goes away and, not wasting any more time, starts the film. We make ourselves comfortable on a heap of blankets in the middle of the floor while Devon hops into one of the tables ahead of us. As the opening credits starts, the panther turns around and winks at me. I blink twice, confused, before the gears in my head finally move and it clicks. Is Devon trying to bring us together? Maybe he had somehow picked up on me having a crush on Rune? A wave of cold sweat runs down my back. I glance at Rune, but he's already focused on the film completely and notices nothing. If that's the case, and I don't know what else the wink could have meant, I'll have to thank the panther later. Then Devon turns around again and no one watches us anymore. Quiet music fills the room, coating the wooden walls like honey, as the film opens with a shot of a garden slowly zooming in. Understated and unassuming. It has a certain lightness and maybe even playfulness that I immediately feel attracted to. It's nice, watching a film here, just the two, well, three of us. I want to lean on Rune, but I don't know if I can. Maybe not now, maybe in the middle of the film. My mind starts coming up with sweet scenarios with the two of us, of Rune's paw holding mine or more, but I rein them in. It's way too soon after the trip, but he's so confused and I don't want to take advantage. But maybe if he'd initiate something. My attention is divided between the film, him, and the events that unfolded barely a few hours ago in his room. His scared face, erratic movements, the panic in his voice. And now, his absolute calmness, and the smile he had the whole time in the forest. Ha! Destruction and rebirth, a forest fire cleansing the earth. A few steps back to finally start going forward. The moon is bright today, shining through the clouds. It still seems to flicker, though not as strongly as when I was with Rune in his room. Why would it, though? I'd have to ask someone who knows more about astronomy. Maybe Lake, or that professor who led the stargazing class the first day. Lake is mine? Lake is mine, and... Lake is mine! I am more than willing to throw hands. I will throw hands. These hands are rated E for everyone. Travis hands as a projectile. Just ow. Ow. Close enough. I would bet on heated air floating upwards. What would even produce enough heat outside this weather, though? Now Rune glances at David. He makes sure he can't see us and leans on me with a quiet sigh, the air he exhales tickling at my cheek. It isn't a kiss, but it feels precious and intimate, too. I raise my paw to rub the side of his snout fondly, and he in turn wraps an arm around me. The match is on fire. I hold the matchbox in my paw as it heats up, burning my fingers. Wings unwound. Water flowing. 3 eyes, 1 open. There is no hiding. I'm holding the sun burning up. I die one death and come back. The forest is ablaze. The woods burn down, but the fire rages on.
Your paw's on my cheek, wiping away stray tear. I lick it off, salty and bitter.
The flames reach to the sky, embers twinkling with the stars. The last tree falls, and then it's over. He clings to you, heavy, collapsing into himself. He'll rebuild himself anew. He's sturdy, you know that well. But now he needs time, and now he needs friends. When everything collapses, he needs someone to rely on. No one is always strong. Even if the deer would rather think otherwise, he has to learn to be weak too. Now his head is on your shoulder and your paw behind his ear, scratching fondly. And when you glance at him, his eyes are closed. It doesn't matter what you're watching, as long as you're doing it together. After the fire comes the silence. And after silence, new life sprouts. Now let the deer rest. As you lean your head against his and close your eyes too, your breaths mingle and heartbeats slow down. When you let your tired arm fall down from his snout, his paw finally finds yours. Yay! That was a lot. Fuck. You already know what time it is. Go see Miko, go visit Lake, or stay here. Nope, Aaron is mine. Yeah, we're starting Torulf's route, and then we're doing Wayfinder. I don't know which to do. Really like another half hour of waiting. Yay, the mop! Yay! Lake for sure found his room already. I could pay him a visit before lunch, see how his room looks. I didn't ask if he shares the room with anyone. I guess I'll find out in a moment. Taking only my camera bag with me, I leave the room and close the door behind me. I hope I remember the room number correctly. As I get ready to knock, the door swings open and Lake comes out of the room. Arvo! Lake! Why are we screaming? I have no idea. Oh, can I see your room? I'd like to see if it's much different from mine. I thought about visiting you, but that works too. Lake's room is just a few doors away from mine. That's convenient. Oh, I see we're almost neighbors. Nice. Oh, you got a huge bed. This could fit like 3 people at least, or up to 6 if you get creative. Lake sits down on the edge of my bed and looks around. I like my room, but this is even nicer. Oh, how's that? I think it's bigger and there's more space, but I can't put my paw pad on it. Nope. Ryan's mine. Not allowed. Either way, this is so nice. The lion closes his eyes and sprawls on the bed. He looks so sweet and carefree. I could join him there, if he wasn't taking the whole bed somehow. Much nicer than our dorm, isn't it? No competition. Okay, I'll go explore the rest of the guest house. I'd tag along, but I want to unpack my stuff before the luncheon set and rest for a bit. It's weird how traveling by bus is basically sitting and doing nothing, and yet it's so tiring. Sitting and doing nothing is usually tiring. Anyway, I'll be going. Later, Arvo! Yeah, see you around. Woo! Sometimes it's hard to keep up with this lion. Exploring the guest house together sounds fun, but after the whole day spent in the bus, I need a moment alone. And unpacking can wait a moment longer. I want to see what views I have from here. Sit with Miko or sit with Lake? Um,
Lake!
Oh, I love the room I got. It's so nice, even if it's not as big as yours, then I've got a huge bed all for myself. And it has maybe the most comfortable carpet I've ever put my paws on. We're gonna introduce ourselves, keep talking with Lake. Still imagine Lake standing there at the edge of the forest, but of course I won't tell him that. Go look for the key
It's
or
time to
go
drink
ask
water.
Coach Devon for help.
It's time to drink water.
No!
It's time to
Don't
drink
let
water.
them up.
It's time to drink water.
Devon! I think we sat down last time. Sit our booty butt down. Yeah, we're just gonna keep holding down control. Torulf. Fuck. I don't even know how to respond to him, so instead I just stare at him. Whoa, I really am pathetic sometimes. It certainly flatters me, though. He is good looking, I have to admit it. He has a nice lean body and his clothes show it off nicely. I gulp. I blush again. Well, he is handsome too. He told me he'll catch me later, so I should expect to meet him again. I hope it won't be as awkward as our pretty one-sided conversation now was. Which one? I mean, we're speed running, so we're speed running. Amicus doesn't deserve. Jorgen about his book. Wait, let me go back. Do we go back to the guest house or ask Jorgen about his book? Arvo got infected by the no riz. He has no riz. Eat the book. Yes, eat the book. They're both busy, so I decide not to disturb them. Torulf. Time moves so slowly here. Nothing here changes. Since I returned to the guest house, no one else passed through here. No one entered, no one left. The gray clouds behind the window moved barely, and it has stopped snowing. Now for the constant ticking of the clock, one could think that even the time stood still here. But it really comforting. Even if the time doesn't move, then I don't have to either. For the first time in God knows how long, I feel like I have all the time in the world. My thoughts are a blanket I wrap myself in. They flowed gently like a calm river, coming in waves, leaving no trace behind them. Suddenly, paw steps break me out of a trance-like state. Was I just falling asleep? Look at the entrance and see Torulf standing there in a glazed corridor, looking outside. Against the backdrop of the gray sky, he looks pretty dramatic, like a figure from Caspar David Bakedrich's painting. Even without thinking what I'm doing, I hop onto my paws and start walking in his direction. I was lying down a bit too long for that, apparently, though, because I immediately start feeling dizzy and my field of vision blurs. I have to lean against the wall, and that's when Torulf turns around and notices me. Damn. Arvo, you alright? He rushes towards me, grabbing my shoulders and looking at my face with horror. Seeing the frightened look on his face, I got pretty spooked myself, but the absurdity of the situation hits me and I start laughing. Torulf looks at me with immense confusion, and I laugh even harder. Are you feeling well? Do you have a fever or something? I finally recompose myself and take a step back. Sorry, I just got up too fast. And here I rush to the rescue, concerned. He shakes his head, looking at me with disappointment. What are you doing here, Arvo? Well, I don't really have anything to do, so I was just relaxing on a couch before I saw you there. He looks at me suspiciously. Unacceptable. How about we find something to do together, then? What do you have in mind? Actually, not much, but I'm sure we can find something. Well, that's disappointing. Hey, sorry, I don't have some great plan prepared. I didn't think I needed to come here with one. We could always just sit here in the lobby. Wouldn't it be better to go sit in a room? Actually, why are you sitting here instead of your room? Oh, wait, I know. I wanted to go check out the common space. You want to tag along? I'm glad he didn't wait for me to answer because I don't really feel like explaining it all again. common space? What do you want to do there? I think there's a record player there. I wanted to see what albums they have and just lounge a bit. That should be fun enough with the company of a cute tiger like you. A record player? Huh, I haven't seen one in a long time. I haven't noticed it there, but then I only peeked into the common space before. Good idea, why not? Great, let me lead the way then. We moved to the common space. I went past it a few times before, but I never paid much attention to it. It's divided into two parts, with a snooker table in a separate room, and a few armchairs and couches arranged around a table on the other. There's also a record player standing there in the corner. It's definitely an old one that fits the room very well, adding a lot of charm to it. There is also a fireplace that certainly adds to the coziness. It's obvious that a lot of attention was put into designing this space. I like it here. He sits down on the sofa and points wordlessly to the space next to him, clearly expecting me to sit there. Sit on a chair, sit next to him. Yeah. I take the spot next to him reluctantly. We're so close to each other that I'm almost snuggled against him. He has been nothing but nice to me, but it still feels weird. It's the second time we're seeing each other and I barely know him. Feels like our friendship progresses much faster on his part than on mine. It's quite hot in the room with the burning fireplace, but I especially feel it now sitting next to Torulf. I take my sweater off and throw it onto the armrest before turning back to the tiger. Torulf, tell me something about yourself. So far I only know what you study and where you live, and it doesn't really say anything about you as a person. Torulf nods and lifts his finger in a stopping gesture. Sure, but first let's play some music. Some of the albums were already scattered on the table with the record player, and Torulf leans in to take a better look at them. They have some good ones here. Do you have any preferences? Oh, they have the new Nimble Foxes album. I was listening to it a lot lately. I have an idea, though. Let's pick something neither of us knows. Fine by me. Maybe this one. He picks one of the albums. It has a white cover with a tiger sitting on an orca-shaped rock among flowers, looking at the sunset. It's vivid and colorful, but at the same time feels contemplative in a way. This cover art looks interesting. Buildings like radiators. A weird name for a band. Do you know them? No, never heard the name. Okay, let's try this one then. He takes the black record out of the sleeve and puts it on the record player. The first notes of the track play from small wooden speakers standing on both sides of the player. Soft acoustic guitar fits the space well. Record players have their charm. I haven't seen one in a long while. There was one trendy jazz cafe in Helsinki that had one. I've been there twice. That was the last time, probably. I've heard people likening the vinyls to analog photography, but I think the comparison misses the point. With analog photography, the focus is on medium and its limitations, and the end result is usually visibly different from digital photography, but it's not really the case with analog records. I don't agree that they sound vastly different unless the record is scratched or dirty. With vinyls, the focus is on the ritual itself. Admiring the album cover, taking the record out of its sleeve, cleaning it first properly, then dropping the needle and observing how the vinyl record revolves on the plate. It's much more absorbing than just playing a song on Stripify. So, what would you like to know? Maybe tell me why you chose to study experimental biology. Oh, that's a complicated story, so I'll start by saying that I first got a bachelor's degree in computer science. Worked for a few years as a web designer. I got the first job when I was still studying. When I got my degree, I was offered a much better position elsewhere. I accepted, of course. Everything was going well. I was earning more than I ever hoped for, while doing less than I thought I would have to. But I'm not the one to ever stay in one place. The second year there, I started to feel bored of it all. It was never a thrilling job, but for a while I liked what I was doing. I couldn't see myself doing the same thing for the rest of my life, though. After 2 years of working, I had enough saved to quit and just live off the savings for a while. I don't know if you've ever heard the term mini-retirement, but that's pretty much what I did. I retired, just not permanently. So I found myself having a lot of time to think some stuff through, and decide what I want to do with my life. And I understood that I wanted to do something more substantial. I wanted to be at the frontier of science. I wanted to work on something groundbreaking. something actually meaningful. So after some research, I decided to go with experimental biology. That's pretty much it. Not very interesting, was it? Wow, that's a lot of new facts. I thought you were maybe a year or two older than me, but that would mean you're 24? 27, actually. I've finished my studies, worked for 2 more years, traveled around the world for a year, and then ended up here. You traveled around the world? Where were you? Mostly Asia. China, Taiwan, Thailand, Vietnam, Japan, Korea. Those countries really fascinate me because they're highly developed, but the culture is so much different. I never felt at home there, but somehow I still kept coming back. Hey, how about we get a bit more comfortable? He puts his arm around me and snuggles me against himself, so sudden that I don't even protest. Although, I have to admit that it feels nice. His intentions are pretty clear and I don't know what to think of it yet. I'll worry about that later. I lay down sideways on the sofa, wrap my arm around him, and rest my head on his chest. He in turn snuggles me up closer and pets my head with his other paw. This is nice. I could probably spend a whole day like this. I can hear a deep rumble rising from his chest. Looks like he's enjoying himself too. I press my snout against his chest. He smells really nice and fresh, with no hint of musk. He certainly takes care of himself, and it shows. My paw runs along his side slowly, exploring his body. I've never cuddled like this with anyone before, and now I want more. I wrap my arms around him and hold onto him closely while he keeps petting my head, his other paw snuggling me into himself. The vinyl record keeps revolving, the tiny needle making lap after lap through the black grooves. The speakers fill the room with a mellow sound of guitar and occasional pops and cracks of the record. Torulf presses the tip of his snout against my head. His warm breath tickles my skin. You're cute, you know that? Yeah, you've told me already. My words come out muffled by his fur, but I don't care. I don't want to let go of him. A flame flickers in the fireplace, illuminating the room with a warm glow. I don't even care if someone else sees us. It feels like we're the only 2 creatures in this whole world. This room the only place that really exists. I cling to this moment with my whole consciousness. Right? Right? Now I'm conflicted. He smells so nice. And that is your takeaway from this, Arvo. That is your takeaway. That he smells nice. Huh. Should have been me. Nah, I still prefer the mop. I still prefer Lake. I know. I know. I prefer Lake. I would prefer Lake cuddles. I open my eyes. There's a wooden ceiling high above me. I look around disoriented. I'm in the common space. The wood in the fireplace is still burning and the evening sun pours through the windows. Must have slept only for a few minutes. Slowly I start to remember why I'm here. Looks like Torulf is gone already. I stand up, stretching out and yawning. I really needed that nap. I feel much more rested and energized now. My sweater's still laying on the armrest. I pick it up and put it back on. The vinyl is still revolving on the record player even though the album is ended. Looks like it's a fully manual model. Lift the tone arm and put the record back in its sleeve. Then I leave the common space and start walking back to the lobby to stretch my legs. I wonder where Torulf went. I never asked him about his rune number. I wouldn't even know where to look for him. I'm sure we're going to bump into each other again soon. Sauna with Lake or swimming pool with Rune and Devin. Sorry, I was viewing. I say that it's just what I wanted to hear. Can I leave the jacket here first? I don't want to bring it with me to the locker room. Thor, no problem. Just put it on the coat hanger. By the way, where did you get that jacket from? It doesn't really look your thigh. Well, it's not mine. I borrowed it. I have to look away, flustered. I don't know why, but it feels a bit embarrassing now that you pointed it out. I'm wearing someone else's clothes, and it feels a little intimate. No way I would tell him whose jacket it is. Lake nods in response, saying that I don't want to tell more. I take it off and hang it on the hanger next to the door. Okay, I'm ready now. Let's go! God damn it! The sensor wasn't high enough. The sensor wasn't high enough. Lake, you asshole. Lake, you asshole. I love you to death, but you're an asshole. Yes! I love them to death, but oh my god. There's one person missing, though. I look around searching for Torulf. Finally see him at the table near the entrance. He's sitting with a few others, but it looks like he keeps to himself, eating pancakes in silence. For a moment I consider waving to him, but he's not looking in my direction anyway. I wonder how he's doing. Which one? Rune and Devin, Lake and Jorgen, or Miko, Travis, and Bjorn? Oh, hiya, Sam! Travis and Bjorn, Lake and Jorgen. Hang on, I'm gonna make a poll. I'm gonna make a poll real quick. Yeah, it's Sam. Ah. Rune and Devin. Lake and Jorgen. Alright, go ahead and vote. Please don't hijack the vote. I would appreciate it. Thank you. No. And we're going with Lake and Jorgen. Yeah, hiya. Yeah, we're doing 2 streams tonight. After we finished eating, I told Lake and Jorgen to wait for me and went to ask Torulf if he wants to join us. He seemed surprised to see me, but agreed without hesitation. I want to be with Arvo. A confliction! The confliction, yeah. I nod to Torulf, agreeing. Okay, that's settled, then good. I thought that would take much longer. We approach the table, me and Torulf taking the red side while Jorgen and Lake take the blue one. Attack or defense? I'll take defense if you're fine with that. Great, I'm a better striker than a goalkeeper. Jorgen fetches the ball from their goal and looks at everyone else at the table. No spinning. I hope we are clear on that. Yep. Jorgen serves the ball and it rolls over to our midfield players. Torulf hits the ball skillfully, sending it straight into the other team's goal. Ha! Did you see that? Okay, that was pretty anticlimactic. Looks like this is going to be an easy match. I was lucky to team up with Torulf. Why me, though? I was sure that he would want to play with Lake. While I'm deep in thoughts, Lake manages to take the ball from Torulf and score a point. Oh, that was nice. Thank Jorgen! Okay, this might not be so easy after all. We won the match with a 10-7 score. I did a good job defending our goal, but it was mostly Torulf's aggressive playing that let us win. Lake was pretty good too, but Torulf is an absolute beast. Now I'm sitting next to Torulf on a couch, partially leaning on him. He's petting my head slowly, sending sparks of pleasure down my spine. A strange sensation fills me, something akin to a warm glow illuminating me from inside. It's nice to just sit here together. I don't feel a need to say anything. To the terrace with Lake or Rune's room. Rune. Speed run. Ah! Yep. More Lake. Spring, autumn, autumn or winter. Spring, summer, autumn or winter. We're just speed running at this point. Obviously. I like winter the most too. It's the best season to take photos. Places that look ordinary in the other seasons suddenly become ominous in winter. Plus, with the lower temperatures, I can take photos at higher ISO values without too much grain. You, Miko? I'm only doing this to be safe. Because I don't feel like getting flashed again. Gonna check the sauna and swimming pool, and there's Bjorn. Wait, hang on, let me go back. Okay, go check the common space or sauna and swimming pool. Exactly. Hi, Miko. Try to play the piano. We're gonna ask Torulf. Bash your head into piano. Alright, we're gonna stop it for the ad. Want to break from the ads? I thought I would see Torulf here, but apparently he's in the minority that didn't sign up for the Stargazing class. Damn it. Hang on. I have no idea which room he's in, and while I could always ask Lake, I'm not sure if I want to. I feel bad if I told him I chose to ask Torulf over him. If I want to chat with him, I will have to find him myself after Stargazing. And I have a feeling I might know where he'd be by then. I hope he agrees, though, otherwise I'm toast. But I can worry about that later. For now, I should focus on the assignment. Now, all that's left is some fine adjustments with the precise knobs of the tripod the telescope is standing on, and everything should be ready. Okay, that was something. We're going to leave off here tonight. It's early, but my brain is fried, and we still have Wayfinder. We're only going to do like half an hour of Wayfinder. Stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow if you don't want to stick around for Wayfinder.